The scary part is, millions of people who truly love their cats are feeding them the wrong way every single day. Without realizing it may slowly be damaging their bodies. Most cat owners believe, as long as I buy expensive cat food, that's enough. But the reality is, a cat's body does not work like a dog's. Not like a human's either. And definitely not the way pet food advertisements often make it seem. A huge number of modern house cats are struggling with obesity, diabetes, kidney disease, urinary crystals, chronic dehydration, hair loss, poor digestion, or constant low energy. And sometimes, it's not simply because of aging. In many cases, it starts with the food bowl they eat from every single day. And here's something very few people truly understand. Cats are obligate carnivores. That means their bodies are biologically designed to get most of their nutrition from raw meat, organs, animal protein, and the natural moisture found in prey. Not from starch, not from grains, and definitely not from ultra-processed dry kibble. But wait, does that mean dry food is completely bad? The answer is much more complicated than that. Because after this video, you'll probably never look at cat food the same way again. Part 1. Why do cats drink so little water? There's one behavior almost every cat owner notices. Cats barely drink water. And many people simply assume, maybe they're just not thirsty. But in reality, this is deeply connected to feline biology. In the wild, cats originally evolved in desert environments. They adapted to get most of their hydration directly from prey. A mouse, for example, contains around 70 to 75% water. Meanwhile, many dry kibble products contain only 7 to 10% moisture. That means when cats eat dry food every day, their bodies have to somehow compensate for the missing water. The problem is, cats do not have a strong thirst drive like dogs do. Many cats live in a state of mild dehydration for years. And the frightening part is that most owners never notice anything unusual. Because the cat still eats, still plays, still sleeps normally, until signs begin to appear. Urine becomes overly concentrated, the bladder becomes irritated, or kidney function slowly starts declining. That's one reason many veterinarians recommend increasing wet food intake, especially for male cats. Male cats have a narrower urethra, which means they're more prone to urinary blockages. And a blocked urinary tract in a cat can become life-threatening in a very short amount of time. But here's the part that surprises even more people. There's another ingredient in cat food that causes even more controversy than moisture levels, and that is carbohydrates. Part 2. Cats don't really need large amounts of carbs. Many modern cat foods are heavily made from ingredients like corn, wheat, potatoes, peas, or other starches. Why? Because starch helps hold kibble together during manufacturing. It's cheaper than animal protein, and it's easier to store. But a cat's body was never optimized to process large amounts of carbohydrates. In nature, a cat's diet consists mostly of animal protein and fat. They do not hunt bread, rice, or grains. Some studies suggest that diets excessively high in carbohydrates may be linked to obesity, insulin resistance, and increased diabetes risk in cats, especially indoor cats with low activity levels. That's why some cats don't even seem to eat that much, yet still become increasingly overweight, sluggish, and less agile over time. And many people simply think, a chubby cat is cute. But no. Sometimes their bodies are silently struggling to process nutrients they were ever biologically designed to handle in the first place. But wait, that doesn't mean every type of kibble is automatically bad. And we shouldn't look at the issue in an overly extreme way. Some dry foods are actually fairly high quality, and some wet foods can be terrible. There's also one detail that surprisingly few people check before buying cat food. And it's hidden right on the packaging. If this video is already changing the way you look at cat food, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel. Because so many things we consider normal in cat care may actually be silently affecting their health every single day. And in the next section, I'm going to talk about the thing that tricks cat owners the most when buying cat food. Part 3. Don't trust the front of the package. Made with real salmon. High protein. Natural ingredients. Sounds impressive, right? But sometimes, pet food marketing is like an expensive fur coat on the outside hiding an average or even poor formula underneath. What really matters is not the front of the package. It's the ingredient list on the back. Ingredients are usually listed in order by weight, which means the ingredients at the top generally make up the largest portion of the food. If the first ingredients are things like chicken, turkey, salmon, or clearly identified animal proteins, that's usually a better sign. But if the first ingredients are corn, wheat, soy, rice, then you should seriously reconsider that product. Another thing most people never notice. Some companies split starch ingredients into multiple smaller names to make meat appear higher on the list. For example, corn gluten, cornmeal, ground corn. Individually, each ingredient may look small, but combined together, the total starch content can actually be very high. There's also another nutrient cats desperately need. Taurine. Taurine is an essential amino acid important for the heart, the eyes, the nervous system, and muscle function. Long-term taurine deficiency can lead to severe health problems affecting all of those systems. And here's the reality. Cats cannot naturally produce enough taurine on their own the way many other animals can. That's why high-quality animal protein is extremely important for them. But now we reach one of the most controversial debates in cat nutrition. Is homemade food actually better than commercial food? And should you completely replace commercial diets with homemade meals? Part 4. Homemade food, raw diets, and important risks. After learning more about feline nutrition, many owners switch to homemade meals, barf diets, or raw feeding. And yes, when done properly, some fresh food diets can provide significant benefits. But there's one major issue people often underestimate. Doing it correctly is far more difficult than it seems. Cats don't just need meat alone. They require proper balances of calcium and phosphorus, taurine, vitamins, organ meats, fatty acids, trace minerals, and long-term nutritional balance. If a homemade diet remains nutritionally incomplete over time, it may actually be less ideal than feeding a properly formulated commercial diet that meets nutritional standards. That's why many veterinarians warn people, do not blindly follow random homemade recipes online, especially for kittens, because nutritional deficiencies during development can create lifelong consequences. The truth is, there is no GLE perfect diet for every cat. Some cats do well on high-quality kibble combined with wet food. Some require special prescription diets because of medical conditions. Some are extremely sensitive to certain ingredients. The most important thing is not chasing trends. It's understanding your individual cat's body. Pay attention to things like coat condition, excessive shedding, stool quality, body weight, energy levels, water intake, behavior, and veterinary health results. Because sometimes, your cat may have been trying to tell you for a very long time that something about the food isn't working. The real question is, did you notice? Part 5. So what should you actually feed your cat? If we had to summarize this entire video into a few key points, here's what truly matters. Number 1. Prioritize moisture. Many cats become healthier simply by eating more wet food or increasing total water intake. Number 2. Prioritize high-quality animal protein. Number 3. Always read ingredient labels carefully before buying cat food. Number 4. Monitor body weight closely. A fat cat does not automatically mean a healthy cat. Number 5. You can absolutely supplement your cat's diet with homemade wet meals prepared at home. But remember, those meals should generally be supplemental, not the entire diet, unless they are professionally balanced and formulated correctly. And finally, stop searching for one magical, perfect food. What truly matters is finding food that is appropriate for your cat's body and life stage, sustainable long-term, nutritionally complete, and carefully monitored over time. Because sometimes loving your cat isn't about buying the most expensive product. Sometimes it's simply about truly understanding what their body actually needs. Now that you know all of this, has it changed the way you think about cat food? Tell me in the comments. What does your cat currently eat? And have you ever experienced any food-related or health problems with them? I'd genuinely love to hear your experiences and answer your questions. And if this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because on this channel, we're not just raising cats. We're learning how to truly understand and love them.